Chapter 20. Trying to build a normal life. Trips to Wilmington used to be a sanctuary for me to connect and find acceptance, but now they no longer comfort me. I've moved to Carborough, where I feel like a pariah, excluded from society, grappling with the notion that I might deserve it. In Carborough, I tried to build a normal life, seeking meaning, but doubt lingered. I immersed myself in church activities, clinging to my Roman Catholic faith as my last refuge. I yearned for belonging, attended Bible study, and reached out to make friends, yet fear of revealing my past kept me isolated. Even now, in 2025, I'm shocked that I have a criminal record while the true villain remains free. Shame prevents me from letting anyone associate me with a violent crime, fearing what they might think. So I bear the burden alone, torn between confessing and fearing rejection. Marked by shadows, I knew I was different, and others likely sensed it too. My work status was a topic avoided, and I was on disability, not yet brave enough to share why. My passion was social work, helping vulnerable people heal, but this left a noticeable gap in what others knew about me. No one questioned my lack of a car or my reliance on a bike or rides. I struggled to craft a perfect elevator speech, unable to succinctly explain how I was a victim, deceived by gender-biased police detectives. I could verify these beliefs, but they were my beliefs. Another door slammed shut. As I struggled to rebuild my shattered life, I clung to the hope of teaching religion to children at the church. I had always enjoyed children and being something like a big brother. I believed that sharing this light would make me feel alive. Then I heard about the dreaded background check. I was crushed. The church, haunted by a history of scandals and abuse, built an impenetrable wall of caution. Afraid they would deny me the role, I planned to share the truth with someone connected to the church, hoping someone might see past the false stain of accusation and believe in who I really was. Instead, I avoided even pursuing this opportunity. This was just another tragedy of a false accusation. At a raw, vulnerable poetry open mic in Carborough, I bared my soul to a trusted new friend, recounting the false accusation, the injustice, and the stigma. I yearned for empathy, for someone to say, "I believe you." Instead, he bluntly remarked, "You can't expect people to take your word for it." His words struck like a slap, reopening old wounds and reinforcing a world that had already condemned me, despite my lifetime of nonviolence and my nature as a gentle person who healed others. Now I must insist, in the 20 years since, not a single accusation has been made against me, a silent testament to my true nature. I had devoted my life to healing others as a therapist, guiding souls through trauma, yet fate turned me into an object of fear. The unbearable weight of rejection eventually forced me to stop trying to prove myself to the church. It felt like another part of me had been stolen, another casualty of a false accusation, and the relentless force of Anna, my future, my work, my reputation. Now my ability to be with children has hung in the balance. What made it more difficult was a certainty I had always felt, that I was always great with kids and should have been a parent. I adored the joyful, carefree nature of kids. I had always been patient, kind, someone children could easily connect with. I longed to mentor, to teach, to contribute something positive to the world, but the world seemed to have decided that I had nothing to offer, and so I felt that I had lost a part of myself. The breaking point was still ahead. I had been drowning for years, but I was unaware that I was on a collision course with a final, harsh moment of truth. My entire being would have to be shattered completely before I could piece myself back together. It would require standing at the brink of my own existence, contemplating the ultimate decision before I could muster the strength to fight back, before I could discover self-love, before I could find self-compassion, before I could trust in myself. I didn't choose to deny myself these things, yet I wondered if I was truly worthy of them. For years, I had believed I didn't deserve them. That belief was partly fueled by my persistent attempts to get my family of origin to understand me and my struggles, to care, to show compassion and empathy. If my own family didn't care, then who would? I spent years grappling with why my life had unraveled the way it did. The PTSD diagnosis offered a framework for what I had been enduring. My mind and body were still trapped in many traumatic moments, reliving the past through inescapable flashbacks. But the PTSD wasn't new. The assault by Anna and false allegations had merely been the tipping point, the moment when all the pain from a childhood of emotional neglect, of isolation, of striving to be seen, and then losing the love of my life, my home, my career, and everything else, finally crushed me. The major depression and generalized anxiety disorder were just passengers on a journey that had begun perhaps 4 years before Anna's assault. I had lived with pain for so long that I wondered if I even knew how to exist without it.